The ultimate fishing experience is brought to you by Lund Boats. This week on the Ultimate Fishing Experience, we're heading to the historic musky waters of northern Wisconsin. In the heart of musky country is Vilas County, boasting more lakes and rivers where this top predator lurks than any other in all of Wisconsin, making this area one of the top destinations for generations of musky fanatics. This is also what drew longtime musky guide Rob Manthei to this region, where you can find him out on the water from musky opener until ice up with clients in tow. With a couple of rare days off, we join Rob back out on the water with his brother-in-law Andy Regenfuss, deploying a 1-2 punch of casting big baits and dragging suckers for October muskies.
Nice fall fish, that's what it's all about right there. Well, hello there, my name's Rob Manthei. Today we're gonna get out on the water and chase some muskies. Just putting a few things away here. Been a very busy summer guiding. Don't get a lot of time to fun fish. I got my brother-in-law Andy today, Andy Regenfuss, getting the rods loaded up here. We're gonna get out, chase some muskies between casting and live bait. I think it's gonna be a good day and see if we can put some fish in the boat here. Well, here we are up in Vilas County, my home area. I live in St. Germain, which is kind of in the heart of Vilas County, and we're on our way to one of our several hundred musky lakes in the area. Again, we got a rainy day, mid-October. It's a little warmer than I'd like to see. Last couple days have been pretty good. The one thing that we have on our side is that they're starting to hit live bait, so in conjunction of casting lures and running some suckers on quick sets, you know, I think we'll find some fish. We have a little bit of wind today, so boat control is very important. You don't want to be going too fast because then your live bait just doesn't become as effective. It's going to be interesting. I normally never get to catch a fish this time of year, so I'm probably going to be a little excited once I actually get to catch one. So hopefully we'll show you a few. Well, it looks like we'll get a little break in the rain here. I think what we're going to do is start out fishing deep right away. I don't know, I kind of like the dark, heavy skies. We're going to start off fishing, I don't know, let's run some rock edges, and we'll run these suckers deep in 25, 30 feet of water, and I'll run the suckers and you can cast.
That's fine. I'll let you catch the first one on the sucker.
Oh, good. Hey. Looking forward to doing that. The way it's been, the afternoons have been a better window, and you know, we got a good chance at some nice fish out here and numbers too, so hopefully it all plays out. Well, I got us positioned here along a break line, big rock spine that comes out off of an island here, and we're just kind of zigzagging back and forth from 24 to 35 feet of water, just moving into the wind very slowly. That's the biggest key factor when you're running live bait is to go slow. You want to be able to feel that sucker swimming, because if you're going too fast and you're dragging them like a dog on a leash, you're really not doing a whole lot for your live bait. You know, you want it to swim natural, appear natural, and keep them down there. You know, one thing I always watch the angle of the line, and as long as it doesn't get too far behind the boat, you know you're going good. And Andy's throwing a bulldog up there kind of throwing perpendicular up to the rocks, bringing it down the edge. You know, obviously he's got just as good a chance of catching a fish that way, but if one follows and doesn't hit, you know, we've got a sucker right here and put it in its face, and hopefully it grabs that too. A lot of times too, you'll mark these fish on the screen, you'll see them show up, and a lot of times the sucker will give you a warning that there's a fish around, because they get pretty excited knowing that the end may be near. Oh, there's one on the screen. That little arc down there on the bottom. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, there he's got it. There he's got it. I love that feeling when you feel him hit through the rod. Yeah, Andy, why don't you get this one out of the way here? Oh, now he's, okay, I'm gonna set the hook. Got him. Little guy, but it's a muskie, and it's our friend, Scruffy. Jesus. That fish is 37¼ inches. We were talking about that. That's our pet that someone had caught him some years back, I think, and was very mean to that fish, but he loves me because we catch him and let him go all the time. But let's get him unhooked here, and hopefully that's going to be a little bit of a start of a window for us. Not the prettiest fish, but we'll take it on a day like today to start with. Poor little bugger was trying to eat pretty well, as you can see. Probably didn't have a good Fravel net, whoever caught this fish last. So we'll get him back in. Maybe we got a window going here, and see if we can catch us another one here. I'll take the small ones. We'll let Andy catch the next one, the bigger one. See ya. Can you count that as an actual catch for your total when you've caught the same fish 3 times in 1 year? I don't know. We need a ruling from the audience on that one. That's funny.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly.
Well, one thing about when you're fishing muskies like this and you haven't had very much action throughout the day, and we get on a good spot and we get bit like this, the next best thing you want to do is get re-rigged, get right back out into the water. So we got to catch us one of these lively suckers here. Always try to catch the one that doesn't want to be caught, because he's the feistiest one. Come here, I got him. So I'm using a baiting needle and a rubber band. They're going through the nostrils, and that's all that's attaching that sucker is that rubber band. Twist it up a couple times tight, loop it back through, and now it's snug on the head. This is a quick set that I kind of designed. These little hooks, heated up and bent out one of the hooks, and that's what's actually going to hold the hook to the sucker. I have it tied to a little solid split ring. Put that over the snap, close that up, knock away a few scales, and just take that hook that was straightened out, knock off some scales just to get the skin. Just go lightly under and pop it right out. It's right in position for when that fish hits it. It's perfect. And I do that and just stagger one low, one further back, up a little bit higher. I got the hooks placed right in the middle of the body, because I believe the muskies always are going to come up from below and T-bone them. Running a heavy piece of fluorocarbon. Normally run an ounce, 1.25 ounce weight. Today it's a little windier, got an extra one on there. One thing I've been playing around with is adding some color. I got some weighted, actually these are just bucktail beads. Color attractor, plus they make a little bit of noise. Tied to a heavy duty swivel and our super braid. Running on a line counter reel so we can manage our depths. And there we go. Let's catch another one. Well, when it comes to running your sucker rods, you don't have to have anything real special here. You know, I prefer an all fiberglass rod just for the strength and durability in cold weather, because when it's cold, high modulus graphite is going to explode on a hook set. Basically using an 8.5, 9-foot fiberglass rod here. This is a actual saltwater rod that Fenwick makes. I like to use a line counter reel. That way when you are fishing 25, 30 feet of water, there's no guesswork. You can just manage your depth by your line counter. They're good stout, solid reels, and 80-pound super braid line. And you know, like we saw before, you know, we're running a 130-pound fluorocarbon leader and 60-pound wire on those leads that are attached to the trebles. And you know, it's a pretty beefy setup. It's a whole different fight when it comes to setting the hook, because that fish isn't really expending energy. It's just hitting it, you're setting the hook, going toe to toe. It's a whole different fight than if you're catching them on a lure casting. So that's the reason for the big heavy equipment. I'll leave them in a rod holder when I know I'm fishing clean bottom or clean structure, where I don't have to worry about inconsistent weeds and you know, worrying about if that sucker's gonna, because when they see cover, they want to go for it. One good thing about rocks, they'll dive down to them. Sometimes they get hung up, sometimes they don't, but it's nice to have it in the rod holder in case, you know, stuff starts going on. You got to run up and net your partner's fish, and you know, if you have a rod just laying loose, sometimes they might get pulled over, and we don't want that to happen. That's where the rod holder is going to come into play for us there. Pretty sure.
It's heading out that way.
Get a good angle on him.
Let me know
whenever you think he's doing it.
All right, here we go. Got him. Feels like a decent fish too.
I told you I'd take the little nicer fish.
Yep.
All right. All right. I'll take the little ones all day, or let the other guys catch the bigger ones. That's a better one. They're getting bigger each time. You know, sometimes when they are hanging underneath the boat like that, when you're in relatively somewhat shallow, like that fish kept showing up around us like 13, 14 feet, you know, and you've got 2 trolling motors going to slow us down, because that's the most important thing. I mean, a lot of people would be just drifting with this wind, and you're not going to get fish to bite doing that. So having both Minn Kotas in the water, slowing down the boat, doing what we needed to do, and I just kind of circled the wagons on that fish and fed out line on the bobber rod to put the bobber where the fish was last, so there was nothing, no artificial noise around it. And as soon as he got wind of that one, he grabbed it right away.
Here we go. Nice fish. That's number 2 for the day. Probably within about 10 minutes apart. Definitely found a nice feeding window, so we're going to let this one go and get right back at her.
Oh, there he is down there now. I could feel him thumping. I could feel the sucker thumping. I'm like, just eat it, just eat it, just eat it. Now, one thing when you get these days where you get this real inconsistent wind, boat control is your most important aspect when you're live bait fishing. And you know, between the use of the Vantage and the Terova, I can totally keep the boat going, you know, virtually at whatever speed I want. I can use the remote, swing the bow back and forth, and just creep along a rock edge whenever I really have to, at any given speed. You know, between the use of the Vantage as a brake, use the front one with the remote to steer, you've got the best boat control you can have out here. I know for a fact that's why we caught that last fish, because of that. Well, one thing about being on Lund's pro staff is you usually get to play around in a different boat every year, a lot of times 2. Today we're in the new biggest Pro V aluminum that they make, the 2175. You know, it's just a huge platform, great boat, just tons of storage. You could put so many lures in compartments in here that half the time you forget where you put half the stuff, because there's so many drawers and space to put everything. One thing I really like about all Lund boats is the option of having this vinyl floor. So easy to clean, maintain. You know, 5 minutes with a pressure washer and the boat's spick and span. You know, the IPS hulls are just a real dry running boat. I usually run a tiller and also the dual console boats, because not only do I fish our lakes around here, which my 1875 Pro Guide is great for, but when you're out on Green Bay or up in the big lakes of Canada, nothing better to be in a great big Pro V like this, whether it's the glass version or the aluminum like the one that we're in today. The reason I got this graph set up the way I do in this boat is 99% of the time I'm fishing or operating the boat from the back, and when I've got people up front and you can't see what your front graph is doing. I have this one networked to the front, so as I'm always pivoting my head, I'm looking at the back of the boat on the console there, and I have this graph set up to the bow so I can see, and it's very important to have that set up that way when you're following contours, especially this time of year where you want to maintain these breaks, and especially in a boat this large at 22 feet, that bow of that boat could sometimes be in 10, 11 feet difference than what the back is. So if I see the front of the boat start getting too shallow or too deep, I know I can make adjustments with the trolling motor and swing myself out, or if I need to, cut myself in. And it just gives you the greatest boat control, I think, by having a setup like that where you're always looking at two different graphs, maintaining a depth range, you know, over the whole length of the boat. Actually, these last couple fish we've marked, it gives me 20 feet of warning before I can position a sucker over its head. It's just so cool when you see one and you know he's there, and you know, it's kind of like a neat little video game right there. And ooh, 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 come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I could feel him thumping, I could feel the sucker thumping. I'm like, just eat it, just eat it, just eat it. Well, he's starting to chomp on it. I don't want him to turn it, so I'm gonna set the hook. All right. Got him. This might be a decent one. Nice. Just a feisty one. Here he comes.
Let me know when you're ready.
See, this is where that light tip comes in play, because you don't have a whole lot. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. Come here, right in the net. There we go.
Trifecta.
Well, that was right on cue at moonrise. Let's make quick work of this boy and get right back out there. Yeah, it's a nice fall fish. That's what it's all about right there. All right, buddy. Look at the camera. Oh, you want to go? All right. Well, what's going on right now is we got moonrise. We're coming out of kind of a dead period coming into full moon. Full moon is rising at 4. It's 4:12 right now. So generally from moonrise till 45 minutes or so after that, usually gets the fish fired up. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get another one. I just hope we have enough suckers. With today's fuels having ethanol blended into them, it is more important than ever to have these 3 products to put into your engine to keep it running at its peak performance throughout the entire season. Mercury has 3 fuel additives that will help you stay on the water all season long. Quick Care, add to every fill-up, helps control corrosion, gum, and varnish buildup and phase separation associated with ethanol fuels. Quick Clean, for use as needed throughout the boating season. Aggressive cleaners that work quickly to remove carbon deposits from the internal working of your engine. And Quick Store, add to fuel at the end of the season during long-term storage. It prevents regular and ethanol blended fuels from breaking down and oxidizing in your tank. There we go. A little preventive maintenance will save you a lot of problems and a lot of money in the long run. Well, up here in Vilas County, basically been fishing these lakes ever since I was probably 2 years old with my dad and grandpa. We always came up and we'd vacation, take long weekends and fish. And over the last 5 years, I've pretty much been fishing every day from the opener of our season, which is the first Saturday in May, until the ice comes. Those last 3 months are pretty much muskies every day. Our resort there is St. Germain Lodge, and the restaurant is called Fibbers. My wife and I have owned that now a little over 10 years. Summertime, you know, it's a busy place. A lot of people are up. The lake that we're on there, Big St. Germain, you know, is a really good fishing lake. We've got hundreds, if not thousands of lakes that have some type of population of muskies in it. You know, what it really boils down to is the historic area of fishing muskies is northern Wisconsin. You know, years ago, you caught a muskie, you killed it. Boy, if we did that in this day and age with the technology that we have and the ability to catch fish and share information, you know, we wouldn't have a lot of fish left in these lakes. And the first fish of the day that we caught, you know, I've caught that fish a couple times this year and like 6 or 7 times over the last few years, and it really just shows you how catch and release can protect the sport. You know, I've been fishing these lakes since I was 2 years old, and I've actually only think I've seen them get better. So, you know, it's a great place to be, and come check it out sometime if you're looking to catch, you know, your first fish or a fish of a lifetime. Well, we got a bite here. Well, he's moving away, that's what we want, so see if we get him. Got him. Oh, maybe he's not as small as I thought. Oh, he's barely hooked. I can see the sucker. That's usually not a good sign, but.
Try to swing it this way.
Come on. I took that big sucker. It's always a good feeling when that happens, but.
There we go.
I'd have to say someone caught this fish not too long ago. You can tell how the line was wrapped around the fish. You can see the line marks on his back. But maybe we got a window coming and we'll get back out there, get re-rigged, and try to catch us a bigger one here. Well, you know, when you're out on the lake this time of year in the fall, musky fishing in these conditions, you know, feast or famine. But I guess anytime you catch a muskie, it's still a good day, regardless.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like more information, check out lundboats.com or these other online outlets.